Resident Evil Roleplay.
You breathe heavy. The smell of gunpowder fills the air. The concrete walls are stained with blood. Some of it, you know, is yours. You find yourself in an underground Umbrella BOW combat testing arena. A familiar scenario. However, before you stands an experimental creature. They have been calling this one the Tyrant. It hunches over, deformed and grotesque, claws jutting from its raw and swollen hands, its enlarged heart beating outside of its chest. It's big, bigger than anything you fought before, and it charges at you. Roll initiative.
That was fast. I wasn't ready.
Big die.
Oh boy.
That's actually very high. 22.
Yeah, 22 on my end.
All right. It goes first.
Oh boy. Wait, it beat a 22?
It beat a 22. Barely. By 1. All right. It charges at you, and it's moving 15 feet, which means it can... Let's see. You must... oh, that's if you succeed, or if it hits. So you must make a DC strength save. Let's see if this hits. I'm assuming that does not hit.
Yeah, raw Aidan, that
Yep.
does not hit.
It swings its massive claws against at you, and this training scenario has been going on for some time. Your muscles are warm. You've seen this coming. It's a big, brutish attack. You duck out of the way, and it tries to attack again without the benefit of the charge for this second attack on its multi-attack.
20 does
20
hit,
to hit.
though.
All right. I'm just going to use average, so that is 9 damage of slashing against you. One swing, you duck under. It catches you with its offhand, just turning ever so slightly faster than you were expecting. This creature is new. That is your turn.
Okay, my turn. Took 9 points of damage. So, I mean, just sort of getting my bearings on myself here, like looking down at myself, am I, like, I'm not geared up, I'm nothing. This is just testing scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do I have?
You have, well, interestingly, you have the loadout that you had discussed previously. I believe it is just the handgun. Was it an M9?
Sigsar is his
Sigsar?
P226 is his
Okay.
typical carry. So
You have a single handgun to defend yourself against this tyrant.
okay.
And again, the walls complete bare concrete, with one wall having a one-sided mirror, a dark surface that you know that there are eyes watching behind it.
Right. In that case, I'm going to bonus action, just grit my teeth, and my eyes flare red as he goes into his Crimson Rush. Just, and he's going to take aim and start firing shots with his handgun. So first shot, 27 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
I presume that hits.
That does.
Let me
Majorly.
go ahead and roll damage really quick on that. 7 points of damage.
7 points. Okay.
But I assume it's going to take more than that to fell this big creature, so I'm going to keep shooting. So with his second attack, just Another shot, this time aiming high. I'm going for a headshot.
Okay. Ooh,
20
that was
to
almost a 20. That was almost a natural 20. Okay, again, that hits.
All right. Plus 10 damage. That's 22 points of piercing.
Ooh, jeez. Okay. A little bit more than 7. That first attack, you fire, and it ricochets. The bullet ricochets off its hard exterior. The second shot, you aim for its beating heart. It sickeningly, expels this thick, viscous, thicker than blood stuff that is pumping through its veins.
How's it looking?
Perfectly fine.
Oh, well, in that case, no mercy. So he's going to go ahead and action surge, and he's going to keep shooting because he's fighting for his life here.
Mm-hmm.
All headshots.
All headshots.
It's a 12 to hit.
12.
And
That hits.
another 12. Oh, sweet, they both hit.
Also hits. Yes, just that that beats, or that equals the AC.
Right, tyrants are not too bad. Oof, 16 on the first attack. And
Of damage?
Yep, 16 piercing and 18 piercing on the second.
Okay. Fantastic. That's a lot of damage. So it takes its swings. You steel yourself again, ready your weapon, send some lead down range. Most of the shots landing in its bulbous heart center that you're aiming for.
And yeah, he's just firing off his shot one at a time, taking aim at the heart, and just enraged, and these red glowing veins kind of piercing from beneath his skin is just just aggressively almost approaching it as he does.
Mm-hmm. Feel like you're stepping forward towards it?
Yeah.
And as you do, the morning of September 10th, you bolt awake, your eyes wide, a faint glow of red in your eyes, your hand shaking forward, a handgun in your hands. You wake up in a small motel room. You're on your way to Brunton, Minnesota. You've recently been tipped off about an outbreak by your friends at the BSAA. Well, one friend specifically. If it was anyone else other than Kevin, you probably wouldn't be going. At least, that's what you've been saying to yourself. You wipe some sweat from your brow. Tell me, do you think Aidan has these kinds of dreams fairly often?
Non-stop. He just kind of sets the handgun on an adjacent nightstand just to get it away from himself, and just plants his head in his hands for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing in there?
At this moment, what's going through his mind? He's currently in a motel just north of Des Moines, Iowa, heading towards the Minnesota border.
At this point, if he's en route, he's not stressed per se, because this is almost a return to form for him. There was a time in his life when this was very routine. And so there's some comfort in that, in a return to a routine. But there's also, these nightmares really get to him. They remind him of a time when there was no routine and he was a lot more powerless.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of routine, seconds after you wake up, your alarm goes off. It's time to head back on the road again.
Immediately silences it, just knowing that it's coming.
Do you
He always
have
wakes up
any?
before his alarm.
Yep. Do you have any morning routines that he wants to go through before he heads off and gets into his vehicle?
Yeah, he would probably, while he's at the motel, get a good breakfast wherever one is available. Eat up, fuel up his body as much as possible. And he's extraordinarily disciplined, so works out first thing in the morning every day, just hits the floor, push-ups, warms up, runs around the block a few times, and just squats, anything he can do, body weight exercises with what environment he has, then just showers that off, gets in his van, and prepares to drive.
Describe really quick the current state, the visual state of Aidan and his van, since this is something that we have not seen of him at this point.
Yeah, so Aidan's looking a little bit different than normal. We don't have new artwork for this, so you'll see on the stream that we're still going off his typical look for that, but his current appearance is not what we have usually seen Aidan as. He's in his civvies now. He's been on the run for some time. He's not in combative mode, so he's just got black cargo jacket over a gray compression shirt and just blue jeans, looking very incognito, and not even a holster for his weaponry. He's got his handgun just tucked into the back of his pants. And the only thing really I think that would be like formally equipped, like holstered, would be a combat knife that he has sheathed and clipped to his belt. But that's about it. But that's a little bit more every day.
So he's in full gray man mode.
Basically, yeah.
To everyone else, to the rest of the world, he looks like just your average physically intimidating person.
Yeah, he's still 6 foot, 220 pounds.
Yeah.
So there's only so much he can do to blend in. But besides that natural physicality, which there's nothing he can do anything about, he's as inconspicuous as can be. His van also, I guess, to give that some thought, is just like a regular gray van, probably a little dented up, very used, very well worn, probably even before he got it. So,
bought it cheap used.
Yeah, cheap used, pure cash. It'll do. It's a home.
Someone
as well
was
as
trying to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, someone's just trying to get rid of it. You took it off their hands. No records. So you pack your bags, you shower, back in the van, head back to the road. The lull of the road kind of brings you back to that dream. So this tyrant, you're walking towards it, and the tyrant walks towards you. It is two forces to be reckoned with, each with their own fight for survival, their instincts kicking in. It's going to make another multi-attack at you. $18.
That hits.
All right. Instead of dealing damage, it is going to grapple you on that attack.
Here's a
Make
question:
second
should I
attack
be
while grappled?
keeping track of resources separately for this? Okay.
No. Keep track of resources all together.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So health and ammo, everything's just gonna be both dream and real world.
We'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so it has you grappled. It is going to make another attack. This time, not with its claw. 25 to hit.
That certainly hits.
It has you grappled. It lifts you off the ground with one single arm. A tentacle sprouts from the palm of its hand and pierces you through the shoulder, throwing you out of its grasp. It pulls it back and gets ready for another attack. You take 20 points of piercing damage.
Whew. Halved.
You are
since
released
he's in his Crimson Rush.
You are released and have fallen prone several feet away from the tyrant. It is your turn.
He's going to beat the floor with the one fist and rise back to his feet, using half his movement to do so. You said I'm a ways from it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, from a fair distance.
The room isn't very big as it is, so even if it threw you across the room, you still would probably be able to make it across back to it with half your movement.
Right. Either way, he's going to keep that distance so that he can make his shots without disadvantage. And again, headshot, aiming for that beating heart.
Yep.
14
hits.
I'll just roll both attacks. Natural 20.
Ooh, that hits.
Both with headshot. So let's have 17 points of piercing and 26 points of piercing on the crit.
Hold on, give me 1 sec. These are big numbers now. Get my calculator out.
Oh, I've been on calculator. I
saw the 7. I was like, I'll be fine.
I try not to GM without like so many calculators open, just because I'm like, there's so much brain power required to GM to begin with. I do not want to do math.
Yeah, usually I can keep track just like doing it in my head, but you attack a lot and with big numbers.
Soldiers.
I know. Where the heck is my calculator? There it is.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need a calculator for this.
You say under your breath. All right. Is that your last attack that you're doing on your turn?
Depends on how it's looking. He's got another action surge in the tank.
After that, it actually falls down to one knee. And like it's breathing, like the beating of its heart is still pumping, but slows, and it collapses onto the floor.
He lets his grip go slack for a sec. He approaches cautiously. And tightens his grip again.
The room is still.
He goes over and he said it fell onto the floor, right? So he goes over and kicks at the body, maybe try to move it a bit.
It is a corpse.
All right. Puts another bullet in the back of the head.
All right. Put a bullet in the back of the head. Begin to walk away.
He looks at the window, the one-way mirror. And he just spikes it, stares for a second as he breathes heavily from the combat and lets the crimson rush subside as those glowing veins kind of withdraw from his face and his eyes return to their normal brown color.
You can just stare at the window.
Yeah, he just stares.
You hear a voice coming through a speaker saying, "Don't get too comfortable yet." As that voice comes through, you hear the screeching horn of a car just go past you, and you're snapped back to reality for a little bit. You're back on the road. The last few miles have been pretty quiet. Daydreamed a little bit. It's a long, lonely stretch of road, just 2 lanes, trees and farmland on either side. Up ahead, you see an old pickup with a massive pile of suitcases held down by a tarp and rope in the truck bed. A full family crammed into the front. 2 small children sitting on a mother's lap while the father drives. Then another vehicle. Then another. always at even intervals, always with a full family, always in a hurry. Another pickup screams past. Time slows for a moment as you look into the cab. The driver, middle-aged, looks to be of Mexican descent, with streaks of gray running through his shaggy black hair, his skin bronze and leathered after years of hard labor. The passenger, also middle-aged, looks to be of Japanese descent, light tan skin with her long black hair tied into a bun. In the back seat, their daughter looks to be in her mid-20s, a smile on her face as he converses with her mother, who is laughing. Father is stoic, his eyes on the road. A brief moment, lasting less than a second, but in that moment, you see something. Something you didn't have. What does Aidan feel?
Mountains of remorse and longing. He looks over, probably just, there's nothing really in the passenger seat, but like at the foot of the passenger seat, just a box of cassette tapes.
Mm-hmm.
And looks back and just kind of nods in acknowledgement towards it.
You nod, you close your eyes. Once again, you're back in that concrete bunker. A voice comes through, says, "Are you ready to go again?"
And he just like cracks his neck and just like beats his chest. Go on then. Go on.
Some time has passed between when the tyrant fell and when the speaker comes back on again. You've just been pacing this room. Enough time for short rest, if you would. You can get all your stuff back and use some hit dice if you wish.
Ooh. He shall certainly... He'll use one hit dice. Not doing too bad. How's his con? Oh, not bad. 14. Sweets.
Not bad.
Out of memory, what the heck?
Huh?
A character sheet just went blank.
Uh-oh. Oh, that happens
But out
to
of
me
memory.
a couple times.
Try reopening it. But yeah, continue.
Mm-hmm. As that voice comes over the speaker, almost, if you have a pretty good internal clock. About an hour has passed, and enough time for a short rest. About an hour has passed, and you hear rustling on the far end of the room where you've shoved the tyrant body. You hear that rustling. You look over to the corner. The beating heart of the corpse, or the heart of the corpse, just begins again. One claw up on the ground pushes itself to standing upright again, stares at you. A newfound hatred in its eyes. It charges.
Come on.
Same initiative as before. It is going to run at you. Ooh.
Doesn't hit.
Charge once again. You see this coming from a mile away.
He just sidesteps in his fighting stance. 24 does hit.
Once it's close, it starts doing work. hits you again for 9 points of damage.
Right, didn't get my Crimson Rush back up.
And it is your turn.
All right. So I'm in close quarters.
Oh, hold on. I forgot at the beginning of its turn, actually, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, wisdom. That's raw for me. Oh, 19 though.
Ooh. It's pretty much as high as you can get without guaranteeing it.
Yeah. I'm angry.
Yeah, so that stare that it gives you, it puffs up its chest and starts running at you, clearly trying to intimidate you as it bowls you over, and you take none of it. Its frightful presence has no effect on you.
In that case, since I'm so close, I know my firearm is going to do the most work. Well, first off, bonus action, Crimson Rush. Just battle cry, eyes red. He is... well, honestly, at this point, since he's already in close quarters and his magazine... I guess he would have had time to reload his magazine in the interim, huh?
Yeah.
So
it was just like
yeah,
half a mag?
he'd use 7 rounds actually. So
A little over half a mag.
7 rounds. But being in these quarters, he's just going to shove the pistol into his trousers, and if he has his full inventory that we were had settled on, then he's going to draw that knife. And being in close quarters, he's going to start going to town and he's going to hold it in an ice pick grip and try to carve into it.
All right, time to dance.
Yeah, against this, I mean, Aidan's a pretty big dude, but this massive foe.
At this point, this is the biggest thing you would have fought, at least in your dream history.
So that's going to be 22 to hit.
Well hits.
Let me do both
Tyrant,
attacks.
big, slow.
Yeah. And 30 definitely hits.
Very much so.
He is going to... he's going to add bleed to the first one, assuming it's not resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. Which I don't believe it is. So, yeah, kind of carving across the arteries, going to that central heart. Gonna bleed it for 13 points of slashing all told.
All right.
He's gonna... Oh yeah, and the second stab. Well, he could get something for free with that with his fighting style, so I'm just gonna add... I'm gonna add a cripple to that just for the heck of it.
Okay, what's that do?
First off, 9 points of slashing damage, and it has to make a con save. Or have its speed reduced by half.
Sure. $23.
It succeeds. But that's for free. All right, so I imagine it's still looking mighty fine, seeing as it just got back up. So he's just going to... Yeah, screw it. He's enraged and mindless at this point. Just pure rage. He's going to use one of his action surges and continue going to town with the knife. That's 23 and 30.
Yep, was it? Is that what you rolled last time?
I think it might have been. That's 11 and 9 for a total of 20 points of slashing.
You can only bleed once?
I can only bleed once per turn.
Once per turn? 11 and 9. Oh, 20. All right. Is that your turn?
That is.
All right. You make those attacks, mindlessly swinging your arms with this the knife in an ice pick grip, cutting into its arteries, blood flying everywhere, getting in your eyes, getting in your mouth. You don't care. There's only one thing that you can do: survive. Oh, at the end of it, your turn, it's going to use a legendary action and a claw attack.
Yeah.
I was about to move forward. It's like, wait, nope.
Oh no.
Ooh, ow. Double 9, so that's 18 points of slashing damage on the claw.
18 reduced. This is my Crimson
No,
Rush
so
to
normal
9.
damage. And with that sudden burst of movement, again, you're jolted back to reality. You're almost to Brunton now. Spend some time, these cars going back, even intervals. Every time. You start to count it, it's like almost 2-3 minutes between every car. You turn around a bend, and you find a small military checkpoint set up in the road. There's a long queue of vehicles waiting where a soldier in BSAA uniform is speaking with one of the vehicle's drivers right there at the front. He gives a signal to another soldier who lifts a red and white wooden barricade out of the road. The vehicle proceeds past you, right on time. He replaces the barricade, sees you approaching, looks confused for a second. No one's supposed to be coming this way. He jogs up to you with his hand out, kind of like motions for you to stop.
All right.
He's approaching you before you hit the barricade.
Put the parking brake on.
Mm-hmm.
Just roll down the
window. On your window. Yeah.
It just has a roller on the side.
Just crank it.
This is
he just
old,
patiently waits.
Old beat car or van.
Yeah. This looks like some young guy. He's on barricade duty. He just moves the barricade back and forth. So he's some low-level officer or some low-level BSAA officer. He just looks at you, and with the van, you're a couple inches above him. So he's looking up at you. He says, sorry, sir, you can't proceed past here. This area is under quarantine. Needed you to turn around.
I'm going in there.
Sorry, that's no can do. We can't allow anyone in or out. And as he's speaking, you hear in the distance another soldier, somewhere off that you can't see, yell out, "Perimeter breach! Perimeter breach!" Suddenly, burst of gunfire starts popping off, and all hell breaks loose. The driver at the front just floors it, crashing through the barricade, and just zooms on past, almost knocking the officer off his feet. He's just like, shit, grabs his radio. Dozer, this is Southgate. Dozer, this is Southgate. We have a perimeter breach. Civvies panicked. They drove on past the barrier. And he turns around, and another vehicle just goes screaming past. He's like, shit. Oh, my ass. He's going to have my ass for this. You need to turn around. It's not safe here. Just go back to wherever you came from. We'll take care of this. And he gets back on his radio and heads back towards the checkpoint and starts relaying orders and starts trying to catch up with everybody else, trying to calm down the civilians who are now trying to just like, there's gunfire happening. Something happened. I'm out of here.
So it's scaring them out of the town.
Yeah. So there's this checkpoint and there's a barricade where he was just manually moving back and forth to let people in and out. There's a long line of vehicles stretching all the way down the road past, now that you can see around this bend. It's a long line of vehicles, and they're just one by one checking every vehicle, letting them through, check the vehicles, letting them through.
How narrow is the funnel?
And the guy in front, it's 2-lane road. So you're talking 2 car lengths in width,
right?
With trees and foliage on either side. That first car crashed right through the barricade, and there are more cars that's not going.
Yeah, I imagine
I see an opening.
That they're tearing through on either side of the road now. All those civilians.
They're just going to the one side because you're on the other side.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's fair. I'm kind of blocking the way.
Yeah.
Well, if there's room, and if I see an opening in the sentries, he's gonna floor it and try and go through on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Go through the barricade in the other direction.
Yeah.
Sure. This wouldn't really require, because a drive check is intelligence. This would require
do a mobility drive check.
Mobility drive check to see if you can get through this vehicle or get through this barricade without hitting anybody or doing too much damage to your own vehicle.
That'll be
Mobility drive.
straight mobility for me then. Ugh.
Ooh.
Hold on. Does
So
my
you just-
situational awareness help me to see a clear path here?
How does situational awareness work?
Well, I have advantage on mobility saves. However, I also have advantage on perception checks to spot hiding creatures, concealed carry weapons, entrances, and exits. So I'm kind of looking for an entrance through this path here.
I'll give you that. I think that applies.
Okay. But yeah, 6 is how he's driving.
Was that gives you advantage, right?
It'd give me advantage on perception, but
on perception. Okay.
yeah.
Just didn't notice, but not to drive. Got it. All right. So, well, at the last second, you see a soldier step out from behind the barricade that you're able to swerve out of the way before crashing through the barricade. Unfortunately, in order to do so, your tire catches something and your vehicle crashes and turns sideways within the front barricade. The barricade is broken, and you've breached it. However, your vehicle has now been Austin Powers sideways in the barricade.
Okay, so he's going
in all
to...
the pandemonium, everyone's running everywhere. There's gunfire. Civilians are screaming their heads off. You're the last thing they're worried about right now.
Right. Am I able to set this in reverse and back out of here and try and correct myself, or is this thing stuck?
It would take more time trying to get the vehicle unstuck than it would be to just get out and run.
All right, yeah, he's going to kick the door open then, and just
calling to the passenger side at this point, because you turned the driver's side wheel, you turned in, hit the curb or a concrete pillar that was there that they had been holding stuff up on. Then you turned. Side? Hold on.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Australia.
I'm thinking. So the other way.
You've been in Australia right too long.
I'm turning Aussie. It's terrible, Raph.
Here, the drivers are on the left, and the road's on the right.
Wait, no, that works because the left side.
Does it still?
Yeah.
Well, which way did I crash?
It's the left side hits partition, turns, and the passenger side is now open to the inside of the checkpoint. Either way, you call through the passenger side.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I was picturing I turned the other way. So unbuckle his seatbelt. And just crawl out to the passenger side. He pats himself down really quick to make sure he has his arms, and then kicks open that door and dives out on that side.
Mm-hmm. And you smoothly dive roll out there. As you do, you notice there's a mist beginning to roll past these lines of cars and past all these soldiers who are now running into the mist where a lot of that gunfire is not coming from, followed by screams. There's much more screams now. Another car just flying out of the mist past you. Thankfully, you're on the wrong side of the road, so it doesn't hit you. But that mist is thick. There's low visibility. You didn't see that car until it was gone, and they're panicked.
Yeah, he's gonna get off the road immediately. Now that he's on foot, and seeing as this mist is lowering visibility, he feels pretty safe to reach into the back of his pants, take out the Sig Sauer that he had tucked in there, and he's going to keep it in low ready and start advancing into the off-road areas.
Yep. You start heading towards, I'm assuming, the sound of gunfire?
Yeah, heading towards the commotion.
Yeah. So as you enter the mist, the visibility starts to get worse again. 15 feet obscured, 30 feet.
Right.
Well, no, actually, at this point, it'd be 30 feet obscured and then 60 feet. No, 30 feet lightly obscured, 60 feet heavily obscured.
Okay.
You make your way through the fog to the gunfire. The gunfire slowly starts to die off. By the time you get there, you can make out a singular figure. A man stands with his back to you. He's tall, clad in a leather jacket with a biker patch sewn into its back, wearing denim jeans. Slowly, he turns to you. Its face is gone. nothing but a skull with bloodshot eyes in the sockets. It opens its jaws and emits this eerie, low cry. And a wreath of fire erupts out of its collar. Make another wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Here we go again. Rolling the dice. Why is it taking so long? That's a 3.
I think this is definitely something that you have never seen before. The form of a man, clearly human, not deformed in any way, just missing his face. No blood, eyes still in its sockets, just bloodshot staring directly into yours, suddenly catching fire. It does a little something to you. You're a little shaky. You are afraid of it for 1 minute. You're frightened of it for 1 minute, to use technical terms.
Right.
However, as you stare down this creature, you don't see this man, flaming skull on fire. In its place, you see the tyrant. The walls, concrete, stained in blood, erect themselves once again. You are back in the BOW training center, and you have only one job.
Is it my go?
The tyrant will go first.
My Crimson Rush is still active.
The Crimson Rush is still active. It is going to make its multi-attack. It is currently still in combat with you. Can't rush forward this time. Ouch! This time it's going to do damage.
Oh boy.
It's going to do 18 points of slashing damage.
Halved. 9.
And then make another claw attack.
Also hits.
This time it is going to grapple you. So once again, slash right across the chest, tearing open your clothes. And while reeling, it just lunges forward, grabs you between its massive claws, and lifts you into the air. That is insane.
All right, so I'm grappled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stab this thing with my knife because I still have that, and just plunge it into the arm.
Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, you are frightened.
Oh, I'm still frightened. Everything's blending together. All right, so I'm disadvantaged then, right?
Mm-hmm.
On this attack.
How actually does Crimson Rush prevent you from being frightened?
That is true, but I'm not Crimson Rushed while I'm in the thing that's frightening me.
Either way, you hit.
Okay. Either way I do hit. But what's the ruling on that?
I think at this point, you have all the benefits of your Crimson Rush, but you are still frightened.
Okay, which means I'm no longer frightened while I'm Crimson Rushed in this vision.
Oh no! So you have all the benefits of Crimson Rush, except that you are still frightened.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so it's a weird sort of ephemeral mindset. So that hits. First off, it's going to take. I'm going to bleed it. As it stab the blade in first, and then drag it across the arm.
Mm-hmm.
14 points of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it needs to make a strength save to see if it maintains its hold, but it's only against the 10.
Strength save. It has to roll a natural one.
All right, hitting it again.
Maintains its hold. Would you roll a 14?
Yeah. So that's 16 to hit.
16 hits.
And this time I'm gonna attempt to disarm, so it needs to make a strength save against that too. 10 points of damage.
10 points.
It needs to make 2 strength saves if it doesn't fail this first one. Let's do
So
the
this is
disarm.
for a disarm?
Yeah, which one are you doing first? The disarm or the natural?
The disarm.
Okay, that beats the
Disarm, and then this is for the hit. Yeah.
That one would have failed against the disarm.
Oh, would it have? Unfortunate. If you disarm it,
It would let me go.
how does that work? It would have to let you go.
I would be
You
attempting
can force it to drop an item?
Yeah,
You?
force it to drop an item, which includes me.
I guess that's fair.
All right. Well, that didn't work, but I'm still grabbed and angry, so gonna keep stabbing down. Action surge. He's got one more of those,
Oh, action surge.
and he's
Okay,
going to
that's
keep
a lot.
stabbing.
That's a lot of action surges.
Yeah,
How many of those do you have?
2 per rest.
All right. 20 hits.
And the second one, I'll just roll them both. 16. I know that hits.
Mhm.
So
Actually, with
that's
that modifier, you have to
Yeah,
roll a natural one to miss.
Gotcha. So it's 11 and
11 and
12
12?
points of slashing.
Plus another 23 cool damage.
Yeah. And plus they need to make saves for each hit if it doesn't go down off of these.
Yeah. I should just roll d20s and see if they're ones.
Yeah.
Both fine.
That's all he's got.
Mm-hmm. On its turn, it is going to... No. End of your turn, it is going to throw you across the room. 30 feet. Straight towards a concrete wall.
I keep forgetting to check for 19s. I was looking back on those. Okay.
Oh, for you crit on 19s?
Yeah.
Well, for these, you would have disadvantage, or you had disadvantage.
That's what I'm
most likely.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still possible.
So you go, you fly 30 feet. I don't remember how you deal with throw rules, but I remember hearing this once, and I like this. It's a d6 for every 5 feet of the throw that you would have gone if you didn't get stopped by the wall. Was that you?
I think I did that. I think I did for...
Yeah.
Well, but I think I've simplified it since then to just a d6 for every 10 feet that you're throwing in general. Like, so of the total throw distance. But however you want to roll it.
Yeah. I like the 5 feet for every... Or d6 for every 5 feet you would have gone. So you take 3d6 of throw damage as you fly 15 feet into the far wall. Taking 10 points of bludgeoning.
And that's, bludgeoning, so that's reduced.
Its turn. It is going to charge now that you are 15 feet away and on the ground.
Oh no. Do I get to save against Frighten at the end of the turn?
At the end of your turn, you save against make another save against Frightened.
Okay.
A wisdom save.
Again, these are just straight for me. Oh, that's an 8.
Not yet. $25
definitely hits.
So again, it rushes at you, charging. Make another strength save.
Strength save. I'm good at those.
Oh wait, never mind. Hold on. This does not apply if the tyrant chooses to grapple. So that would make sense because you can't get knocked back if it grapples. It's gonna grapple you, so you don't have to make the strength save.
Okay, gotcha.
It scoops you off the ground by their throat, lifts you up into the air, and you feel its grip tighten and that familiar sense of that from before, that tentacle that's gonna try to hit you with.
Ugh. Ugh.
23.
23 definitely
Once
hits.
more, it impales you, this time into the wall, as you take another 20 points of damage.
Ugh. Piercing though, right?
Piercing.
That's not so bad. I meant,
I mean, lethal for anybody except you. How's your health doing, by the way?
he's still... Yeah, he's still fine.
Well above caution?
Yeah, well above.
Well, as a soldier, he ignores
Yeah,
caution. Right?
caution doesn't do
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, for me. So I would have to get to danger before anything really starts.
Got to do a lot of damage. All right, it is your turn.
I'm still grappled, or am I?
Still
Didn't
grappled.
leave, it didn't let me go after impaling me. So I'm just like pinned to this wall through.
Oh
my
no,
chest.
you are. Yeah, you are let go. Actually, you are standing at its feet, but it is. You are still prone, but you are at its feet. It does not have you grappled.
All right. So I'm prone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Half movement to stand. Again, just propping himself up on his elbows and angrily rising to his feet.
It towers above you now that it's got you in this corner.
I'm gonna do some risky business. I'm allowed action surges. So he's going to sheath the well, first he's gonna try and run away, use the rest of his movement to get some distance from it. So
Okay.
I'll have to take an opportunity attack.
It will gladly.
That matches. So that hits.
That matches. You take 9 points of slashing damage across your back.
Ooh, reduced to 4. And so he is going to keep running though, get the rest of the way. Just tanks the hit, sheathes the knife, draws the handgun, and he's going to start sending shots downrange.
Mm-hmm. Let the lead fly.
Although I'm still frightened, so disadvantage on these attacks.
Mm-hmm. Technically, away is the only way you can go.
It's true. That's true.
That hits.
14. And second one's going to be with headshot. Even though it's disadvantage.
10 does not hit.
Dang. So that's going to be... The one that did hit is not headshot, so that's just 11 points of piercing.
Mm-hmm.
And...
That one
that's all
wasn't a
she
headshot? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually,
Wow.
he's going to...
11 points, you said.
Yeah. Anything I should know? Or...
Anything you want to do?
Yeah, because he's like, he has enough soundness of mind to be tactically kind of putting distance here. So I guess in addition to those 15 feet he was able to move, he's going to bonus action Phantom Dash and just dash another.
Well, before you decide which direction you want to go, how do you want to do this?
He's kind of got it at range, and he's even in his Crimson Rush. At this point, he has enough of a control about it to be able to not be in a completely mindless rage. And so he's got his proper shooting stance, his proper grip, and lines up the iron sights and just puts a round right in and through its heart.
Mm-hmm.
Second round, it puts 2 rounds there. Second round goes wide, but doesn't matter. He can't tell which is which. He's just double tap.
Yep.
And then he kind of draws it in, prepares to move, but then sees it going down.
Again, it drops down to one knee, looks up, and you see its heart poof, 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 as it's leaking that viscous fluid, and once more collapses to the ground. Over the comms, you hear, "Good job, Aidan. Training exercises are done for today." You hear it, and a door opening for you to exit.
He's going to...
Tyrant fades. Go on.
I was just going to say he would just linger for a moment and just breathe as the Crimson Rush subsides.
As the Crimson Rush subsides, the red fading from your eyes, the tyrant fades away the walls fade away. Your vision returns to normal, just in time to see the creature also fade as it turns to mist and blows away.
Ugh.
You gather your surroundings. You're back in Brunton. It's quiet. No more gunshots. No more screaming civilians. You don't know how much time has passed, but here you are.
He's going to reload his magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And
You spent a little bit more ammo than you had anticipated
yeah.
for a fight that long.
He still has a mag and 1 in change, so he's doing all right. He's going to steel himself. Does he have a moment? He's going to try and find a safe space. So you said there's still gunfire going on in the distance?
No, there is no more gunfire.
No more
it is
gunfire.
quiet.
Okay. If it's quiet, yeah, he's just going to make his way to some sort of shelter and try and find a safe room.
Yeah. So you're going to head down the road?
Yeah.
Try to get into the city?
Essentially heading parallel to the road, but staying off the road, seeing as
Off the road? Okay.
all the
yeah.
pandemonium that happened before. And plus, you know,
Right.
his soldier training just kicks in. He knows how to navigate this kind of terrain.
Mm-hmm. You turn to step off to the side, and immediately a deafening explosion erupts in the air around you. You immediately, instinctively take cover. It's a massive explosion. It must have been close. Well, it was loud. No, it wasn't close. It was loud, but not close. It must have been huge, whatever that was. Coming from the direction of the city. Maybe even further than that.
All right.
You look out. The fog is dense, but not so dense that you can't see out and over it. It's not like a tall thing of fog, right? It's coming up to like just above head height, right? So you can see up and over the fog. You can see the tree line. You look over to see if you can see some kind of smoke cloud, some kind of mushroom cloud. See if you can see the direction that explosion may have come from. But instead, you see something completely out of reality for you. A giant floating island rising up above the tree line.
What the?
In that moment, you're of just complete shock and awe of this piece of earth floating up, completely defying gravity. Make a dexterity saving throw as you hear burp, burp, and headlights rushing through the fog. Again, last second before you can see it. They're on the wrong side of the road and they're coming right for you.
They're going off the road?
You had stepped off to the side right when that explosion happened. You froze, and they're coming in right as you're coming off. So you're heading out. They're coming in.
Situational awareness. I do have advantage while I'm not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated on mobility saves.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be plus. Ooh, right, because he's evolved first, so he has mobility proficiency. So yeah, 24.
All right. That succeeds. You are always alert, constantly. This moment of distraction, and you are immediately, as soon as that first honk you hear, you're immediately ready to move at the last possible second.
Yeah.
You take half.
Oh,
Oops.
Where are the rumblies?
Ah!
That's a D20.
Oh, that worked.
What the heck?
No, it did not work. What the fuck?
I have no idea what that
Hold on.
syntax is.
Okay. You take half of 53 points of damage, of bludgeoning.
That's 26.
Yes, 26.
Yeah, he dives
out of the way.
Just
at the last second. If that would have been nasty if that car smashed straight into you, but it still clips you. It's still going fast. There's only so fast that you can move. It hits you right in the side and it knocks you up and back over that broken barrier, back over to where your car is, and you smash into the front windshield, roll over onto the ground, and you are knocked unconscious. As you look over the road, that car that had hit you, they veer off to the side and crash. As your eyes start to dim and darken, can you describe to me the moment you first met Yuko?
I think the first time he met Yuko would have been relatively mundane encounter. Them just tossing this girl no older than himself into his cell. Wasn't sure what to make of it at first. If anything, he felt a little hostile. Felt like this was someone encroaching on his territory. He enjoyed the solitude. Because to that point, besides his mother, people had only hurt him. All other people. So he was definitely very trepidatious about this. And she seemed to be a similar sort of way. So they would have just scattered to opposite corners of that tiny cell. Both absolute messes. You know, very minimal hygiene as child experiments just done up in their sort of inmate gowns.
Mm-hmm. For reference, how old were you two at that moment?
Whew, I would have to look that up. They would have been probably in their early teens, but I can get
early
exact
teens
numbers
is
if
close
need be.
enough. So, are you talking before or around 16?
I think I want to say before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was right in 1990, so he would have been actually 17.
Oh, he would have been 17. Okay.
Yeah, so
Just
well,
over just over 16.
Yeah. So late teens.
You don't know how hard that car hit you, but for some reason, that memory is brought to you as the last thing that you're conscious of as you fall unconscious. When you wake several hours later, you are surrounded by an oppressively thick fog, much thicker than the one that you had previously encountered. This is everything up to 15 is lightly obscured, or everything past 15 is lightly, everything beyond 30 is obscured. You are face down in the dirt by your car, by your vehicle.
Kind
You
of
can tell by
prop himself up.
you can tell by you slowly crawl, your bones and body just aching. You can tell by the weather, you can tell by just the atmosphere. It is now night, but you actually can't see the sky. Make a wisdom save.
Come on.
And you are out for long enough.
5. Dude, yeah, I was gonna say, does that count as a power nap, short rest?
You were out for long enough to have gotten a rest.
Okay, thank you.
It was a forced nap. So again, any hit points,
Yeah,
hit dice
I'm gonna roll some hit dice.
you may wish to roll. You can do so now.
Some more.
All of your resources recharge.
I'll roll 3 more hit dice from his soldier pool. $30 points. Now he's gonna do that one more time. Another 3. That's more like it. And yeah, recharges all his stuff.
Yep. Take a moment, pat yourself down, check yourself. Nothing's broken, nothing permanent. You can move forward.
He kind of pops an arm back into its socket as he uses his hit dice. And yeah, he is going to just paw around for his gun, see if he could find it anywhere immediately around him.
Yeah, a couple feet away, you find your gun, you find your holster as well. Stuff had just been knocked off of you. And you gather everything, you find all your ammunition. Running a little bit low, but you've got something.
Yeah, it checks the magazine just after being a little discombobulated, just to see. He doesn't quite remember where he was at. Loads it back in and sees he's got a full mag.
Reset all the counters in his head.
Yeah, basically. He's just coming back to his senses and just operating on pure procedure, basically. This is soldier aid and getting back into
purely
the
muscle memory.
Yeah,
muscle memory saving you.
Yeah, this is a professional at work. And even though he's doesn't look the part anymore, again, he's all unarmored, just complete civvy look, which is why his AC is lower than usual. But he is operating on instinct here. So even after this concussive force, he's just getting back into the things. And so he keeps his gun at a compressed ready position again, and he's going to try and advance. Now, as he does, I know this probably won't bear any fruit, but Aidan would definitely, just to do his due diligence, flash his eyes red and use his sense infected to see if there's any T-virus nearby. But for what it's worth,
no T-virus.
He's just trying to be careful.
Procedure.
Yeah, using all the tools available to him. He wants to be sure. But now he could certainly sense that whatever this isn't something he's seen before. Always
you move forward.
BOW.
Are you moving forward stealthily?
Yeah, he'd probably be moving carefully at this point. He doesn't know what he's missed. So
stealth check.
No disadvantage because he's not armored this time.
The first time.
Yeah. Oof. 2.
Doesn't matter.
11.
Actually.
He's got a huge bonus too. But that's a 2.
Why is his bonus? Oh, it's because of just his natural mobility. Wait, no, because you don't have to have proficiency to have that high.
He's proficient.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, how do you think he keeps sneaking up on all these people he assassinated?
That is fair. But does he just like strip down real quick and then sneak up on them?
Nah, even with disadvantage, he can sneak up on a fool.
He's a cat. So yeah,
he only needs to sneak up to the shadows and kick it down.
Yeah, he just has to get that far. He only needs to get halfway. So you hunker down, you move forward along the side of the road, right along the brush.
Yeah, keeping away from main roads after all the pandemonium earlier.
All right, you move forward. You actually come across a body as you move along the side of the road. BSAA operative, at least half of one. The only thing that is positive from this experience is they still have the weapon.
What kind of arm does it look like?
It is a M16.
M16. Okay.
And an M9 handgun as well.
He's going to kneel by the body. Look it over. Is there any dog tags or anything, or anything left that might identify them?
Yep. You check. This was the officer who greeted you at the front.
The young guy,
Yes. Officer Orson.
Orson. He winces for a moment, recognizing what's left of the body. Again, just kind of a somber moment. Nod of acknowledgement. This guy was in uniform, and he recognized that he was kind of green. Remembers what that was like. But that's about all the respect he can give for how pragmatic he is. And then he begins to strip the body. I don't take it there's much of armor to salvage, so he's going to leave that alone. But the weapons, he'll strip the rounds from the magazine on the M9 to take the 9mm.
Yeah. Yep, that is one full magazine and a half.
By my standards?
For the M9, so that's 15 plus, let's say, 7.
Okay, so about
22 rounds. 22 rounds. Off the
gives
M9.
me 23 in spare. And yeah, he's going to strip that magazine and then take the M16 and sling it over a shoulder and then have that at the ready.
All right. Moving forward again. The road down to Brunton. It's eerie, quiet. You can barely see 2 feet ahead of you, or you can barely see 15 feet ahead of you, but you can barely see ahead of you. And it's it was always a small and quiet town, but now with the air of disaster, it just feels wrong. You've been in large cities, you've been in battlefields. This was homes. The roads are completely empty. Most of the vehicles are gone. However, the roads are also shattered and destroyed. Even if you got your vehicle back up and running again, you probably wouldn't be able to traverse these roads. There's no way you'd be able to make it. What looks like a massive earthquake, maybe that explosion you heard earlier, completely destroyed the roads as well as a lot of the buildings. So you can see some buildings have collapsed. Some have evidence of what would have been raging fire at one point, but has now died down. The town is in utter ruin.
Yeah, he realizes he's in a war zone now. And even more so, those instincts kick in. So, again, he's laying low, moving carefully, stealthily, and tactically, always clearing his sight lines and keeping now a combat rifle at the ready. And that handgun now tucked in the front of his pants.
In appendix carry. You move forward stealthily and make a perception check.
Does situational awareness apply?
This would apply. This is looking for people, hidden creatures, hidden anything. At this point, everything's hidden.
It's true. Yeah, and I'm only I'm only seeing even these buildings that are all ruined and stuff. I'm only seeing them when I get close.
Because, like you basically going up along the sidewalk and going like
discovering things.
Yeah, the ruins coming into view as you're passing them.
Advantage? Oh, that's awful.
Ooh, that is awful. Where the heck? There we go. Your stealth check from before.
He's still concussed. Clearly.
Your stealth check from before was good enough that you did not alert this creature. However, you're you weren't aware that you were walking directly into something until it was almost too late. You backed up, or you came up pretty much right on its butt as it's floating kind of ethereally through this mist, its feet barely touching the ground. You're close, and if you move, you might alert it.
He takes a knee.
But it is not unalerted of you.
All right, so he drops to a knee immediately, and kind of has his rifle at the ready, but it's not alerted.
It's not alerted, and if you move, you're close enough that it might look. You just got lucky. Staying there.
So this thing's just floating around. There's clearly an infected. But if I move,
drifting by, it's not that anything with a sense about it would have obviously seen you. It's just mindless and drifting.
Right.
It doesn't currently, I guess it's more like it doesn't currently see you as a threat, so it's not doing anything.
Yeah, he's gonna stay on that knee and stay still and let it pass by until it's out enough in the fog that they can't see each other.
Mm-hmm. Some seconds pass by as it drifts 30 feet away, passes into the fog. Is there anything you are looking for at this moment?
He is going to look for... It doesn't necessarily need a safe spot anymore, because that power nap did him some good. So he is going to...
Accidental power nap.
Yeah, he's mostly going to be looking for anybody that he can help. Soldiers, civilians, anybody who hasn't gotten out of the town that should be.
Yeah, so you're just going to wander by, basically like on the sidewalk, seeing if
looking
there's
for
anything,
signs of life.
And again, the roads are mostly empty. Like all the cars seem to have left. You saw that giant convoy that was leaving, so looks like most of the people got out in time. Hopefully, there are still vehicles left behind, but not a lot. So you make your way through. Make another perception check.
Ooh. Perception.
Investigation, if that's higher.
Ooh, hold on.
Or no, you get advantage of perception.
I get advantage on perception. Yeah, so I probably would use that. However, yeah, he would have a higher investigation bonus, but I'm going to stick with perception for the advantage, which is 15.
So you're having trouble seeing through the fog, but you can still hear just fine. You hear across the street, so just out of your sight, you can hear something rustling in one of the stores. You can hear like stuff being moved around. You had seen evidence of looting in some of the other stores before, and you also know that there's just stuff roaming around.
Yeah, he's going to.
Before you proceed, yes. Go on.
He's going to carefully approach the store.
Mm-hmm. As you get closer, you can actually start to hear a not muffled. Yeah, actually it's muffled. Like there is something, they're trying to keep their voice down, but there's also like a physical obstruction to their voice. Like it seems like they're talking like through a rag. You can just hear a...
Okay, so there seems to be intelligent conversation here. So his mind is immediately ruling out possibilities. All right, so he's like, okay, probably not infected, depending on how the infected for this virus react, which he is not entirely studious on, but he is feeling a bit more informed as he gets more information getting closer here. So he's going to try and find, keeping an eye out for ways that he might be able to see them first. But he's going to go into the building and try and start clearing rooms in search of this.
Right, so you approach the building. There is I believe there's a glass storefront that is boarded up, so you can't look in. And the door is locked as you approach it.
Is there a back entrance?
This is one of those ones where it's like right in the middle of a street.
So it's wall
and it's just one store in the middle.
Yeah. Any way I could climb up to rooftop access? Anything I could stand on top of, or?
I mean, there isn't any vehicles that you would be able to like get a leg up on. You might be able to climb, but that would take a lot of doing. You're strong enough that you might be able to if you wanted to, but also that would make some noise if you attempted to climb.
Right.
If you're still attempting to be stealthy.
Yeah. Well, at this point then, yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any quiet way to go about this. But there's somebody in there. And he needs to find out who. Or what. You said everything's all boarded up and barricaded?
Everything's all boarded up and barricaded.
Yeah, so there's no way to get through that without making a lot of noise either. He's going to not super loudly so that the whole block can hear, but for anybody inside, he's just going to position himself next to the door, his back sort of against it. He's just going to give a quick against the outer barricade just to hear how the people inside react.
So you knock.
Basically.
Immediately you just hear and a bunch of stuff start clanging and just falling to the floor. And you just hear, stay back. I have a gun. I'm not afraid to use it.
Are you all right in there?
The hell kind of question is that?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I'm evacuating civilians.
Military?
Something like that.
That's suspicious.
You shouldn't be in there. We need to get all civilians evacuated.
Make a persuasion check.
Well, he's not too good at persuasion. Let's see how this goes.
I keep pulling out that die and I don't know where I keep putting it.
This is 12. 12. He's trying.
He's making a genuine attempt. Where the heck did my D20 go?
Oh, did you lose your big boss D20?
No, I don't want to roll the big boss D20 for
for this guy.
So you can hear that the voice is now feminine. And again, it is muffled. There's only one voice, and it's muffled. Even with the talking loudly, it sounds like there's something physically blocking their mouth. 12. She says, what did you say again? You need to get all civilians evacuated?
We need to get all civilians evacuated.
He says, I know. Give me 1 second. 1 second, please. I already let the guy know. I'll be right back.
What guy?
The guy at the evac.
The checkpoint officer?
Yeah, Smith?
Orson?
Who?
Never mind then. Either way, that checkpoint's not in too good of a condition, and neither is the rest of this town. You need to get out as soon as possible.
Checkpoint? No, not the checkpoint. The checkpoints went down ages ago.
Who are you talking about then?
Helicopter evac. Are you sure you're military?
Yeah, well, I guess they're not communicating everything to us. Call me a private contractor, but I need to get as many civilians out of here as possible. And right now, you're not in too safe a spot.
All right, give me a sec. And you can hear more stuff just clanging around. I'm gathering as much stuff as I can. This stuff is priceless.
Aiden's still
And
looking
eventually,
around, keeping an eye out on the street.
you hear the latch. Yep. Eventually, you hear the latch, and she opens the door. You open the door opens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He positions himself behind a cover or something, or like at least in a ready position as the door opens.
She looks you up and down and goes, "You don't even look Nate. You don't even look military."
Like I said, private contractor. Now, what are you?
So
doing
you see
here,
before
man?
you see before you this very small, petite woman, very thin. However, she's wearing a lot of like baggy clothes that have been taped up at like the wrist and the pants, and just duct tape around the arms, around the shoulders, around the legs. She's fashioned a kind of armor around herself, and she's wearing these huge round glasses that make her blue eyes look absolutely massive. She's small, looking directly up at you. Two brown pigtails bouncing up and down as she kind of like skips out with this shopping bag full of stuff.
Oh no, this is who I think it is.
And she turns around and locks the door. And she's like, store can go to hell. I just needed all this. She opens it and you can see inside there's like, it's a bunch of like potato clocks and like lemon clocks that look to be like children's school projects.
Well, I look up at the sign. What does the sign say on this building?
The sign says the Sci Shop.
What's your name, ma'am?
Kelsey Ellington.
Well then, Miss Ellington. Have you gotten what you need?
Yep, I'm all good now. I've had to make so many trips. There's a lot of students been doing a lot of science projects, and I've kind of been in charge, kind of keeping it all in my shop. They get all of their supplies from here, so I've just been keeping it all in the back for them.
I can see that. It's very, very kind of you. Yeah.
She looks up at you and goes, "Where's your respirator?"
And you said she was covered. Sorry, I was taken aback by this being Kelsey Ellington again. You said she's got some sort of covering?
She has an N95 respirator,
Of course,
tightly over her mouth. Sci Shop.
Yeah, it's a side shop. Yeah, well, we didn't have any surplus for me. Do you happen to have a spare?
She just reaches into like the kangaroo pocket of her big baggy hoodie. She reaches in and pulls out a what do you call that? A Greenhouse Solutions branded outbreak pack that is everything you need should an outbreak occur. It's got an N95 respirator. It's got a couple reloadable pairs of nitrile gloves as duct tape. It's got a little face shield that you can put on, and and she just pulls this out and like rips it open, takes out one of the things, and hands you a respirator.
Aidan slings his stuff behind his back, realizing that this lady is harmless, and puts on the respirator. Very familiar feeling for him.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, man.
Good.
How long have
All
you
right,
been
let's
here?
get going. As in the shop or in the town? I've been here in this town for pretty much my whole life.
I mean, the outbreak's been going for some time now. You've stuck around all this time?
I gotta get the valuables. Again, opens the bag. This stuff is worth more than any amount of money can buy. I can replace the shop. I can buy another entire set of science kits and hand them out to new children, but the children who made those memories will never go away.
Was that worth your life?
Of course it is.
You really are a kind soul.
The kindest. That's what I've been told. Just doing me, you know? And as you're like walking across the sidewalk, you're casually striding with your long legs. She's practically skipping.
You're awfully optimistic given the circumstances.
I've been a little bit prepared. Ever since I got that new grant, I've been running some, what's it called? The Urban Outbreak survival classes with the Girl Scouts. It's been so much fun. But, it's mostly just a chance to get the kids to get hands-on with a bunch of stuff and do DIY projects, but with that little extra flair. Everybody loves zombies.
Yeah. You said you got a grant?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, there was Greenhouse Solutions gave all the science tech, what's it called, STEM field, all the STEM field shops, gave us all a grant to help the youth around the area. It helped a ton. Got a lot of projects funded.
Yeah, I guess he likes to give back to the community.
For being big pharma, does a lot of good around here. Small town and all. Most people just overlook us.
I'm sure he does. And yeah, he's going to, as we're going to make our way, find some cover along the street, and he's going to kind of pepper her for some more information here. He's just going to be like, you know of any other civilians that are still within the town?
Most of everybody, if they're sane, has already headed to the evac points. We're just waiting for choppers to get clearance to come.
You know where the nearest evac point is?
Yeah, I'm taking you there right now.
Good.
You're so impatient. Gotta chill.
Trying to be practical.
There isn't too much stuff going around here. Most of the infected they're scarce. The SAA took care of most of them. You can kind of freely walk around here at this point.
Well, still, it pays to be careful. He's infected are quite something else. Even by my experience.
Thankfully, I didn't see the worst of it, so I guess I wouldn't know.
All right, let's keep moving. For crying out loud, keep your head down. Stop sleeping.
So she is skipping around and like just eyeing you up and down and is like, you look terrible.
Thanks.
You need any like help with, and just like points to any number of open wounds and bruises along your tattered clothes and exposed skin.
Trust me, I've been worse.
Look pretty bad. You look like you could use one of these. And she reaches into her backpack. Oh yeah, she's also carrying a backpack to just haul stuff in as well. She's got the shopping bag and backpack. Reaches back into her backpack, pulls out a first aid spray and hands it to you.
Thank you, ma'am. And he pockets it.
You can use that a lot more than I can.
A first aid spray to my inventory.
And as you're walking, she's gets low and starts to, do the stealth thing, but forgets after a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure.
And
you just have to every once in a while
again.
reminder. Just like, head down.
Head down. Yeah. Ooh, what's that? Oh, I love this store. They make the best gelato.
Now is not the time. I know you've got a lot of memories here, but we got to keep moving.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't think we're going to get this town back. As you're walking forward, you move into vision range of a creature. You're walking down the street along the sidewalk, and it's walking in the opposite direction, coming towards you. 30 feet, it appears almost instantaneously out of the fog.
He's going to grab her by the shoulder and kind of move her aside, at the very least behind him or behind some sort of cover nearby if possible.
You shove her behind a mailbox.
Mm-hmm. If there's anywhere for him to take cover and hide, he will.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, he'll charge this thing.
Yeah, you move towards like almost like an alley that's close by, and you plant your shoulder on it. And as you're moving, actually, it reaches its arms out, or arm reaches an arm out towards you, and you hit cover, and you hear like this, a single crack of a gunshot.
Well, this person was armed.
You look back to the cover. The creature is now horizontal on the floor with a gaping bullet wound in its head. A little mist kind of seeping out from it. And again, out of the fog, 30 feet away from you, a armored individual comes walking forward. They're wearing almost like a plain everyday t-shirt with a Kevlar vest over top, cargo pants, short crew cut brown hair, a little messy, but they're working. Just approach. They have a military submachine gun in their hand. They walk up and just.
So they're in. This looks like a civvy, but just geared up.
Mm-hmm.
Second Amendment guy out here. Aidan's just gonna.
Looks a little bit like you.
That's fair. Aidan's leaning out, watching this transpire. He's going to stay behind cover, but he's just going to make his presence known. He's just shout out, "Friendlies, friendlies!"
It looks up, and you actually see there's a full face mask covering his face. The hair poking out from behind. Now that he's looking at you, full face mask prepared.
Did I hear anything back?
As you yell this, he actually... Yeah, so he spins and aims his weapon in the direction that you heard it from and says, Hey, show me your hands.
Yeah, he's going to carefully, he's going to let the sling go loose, but have the rifle still hanging at his front, but poke both hands out from behind cover. And
all right, easy now, big guy.
Out.
Whoa, bit armed to the teeth there, aren't you? Easy now, easy now. Not here to hurt you.
I don't want any trouble either.
You hurt? You doing all right? Now taking the full battle damage.
I've been worse. What's your name, sir?
You've been worse, but are you infected?
No. Well, no.
What does that mean? And he raises his submachine gun in your direction. This is an MP5.
He's like, trust me, I'm not going to be like one of them.
He lowers the MP5 on the sling behind, draws his sidearm, and approaches you and is like, no funny moves now, and starts patting you down. And as he gets closer, he goes, wait, no fucking way. Aidan?
Do I know you?
Bust my balls. That's totally you. What the hell are you doing here?
Do I recognize this
And then
guy?
now that he's closer, he can see Kelsey off to the side, and he goes, hey, you two, get over here. And starts patting her down. I thought you were tired.
How do you know me?
Everybody knows who the beast is.
Not everybody.
That's fair. Anybody who needs to know anything. We've never met. But I believe you've been, we have colleagues in common.
What are you? USAA? Mercenary?
Oh God, no.
Umbrella?
Freelance. Independent. We do our own thing. Taking a look at him, you can see that he's wearing the short sleeve, and he's got this tattoo on his forearm of a scorpion.
Does that mean anything to Aidan?
You've met Scorpion. No,
Cool.
You haven't met Scorpion. You met Mr. G.
Yeah, I met
when
Mr. G.
he was assuming the Scorpion identity. He had the scorpion tattoo when you knew him.
Right,
when you
right.
captured him,
He wasn't fully embracing that identity yet, though.
no. But you would have seen when you stripped him naked and kept him hostage.
Right,
you would have seen his scorpion tattoo.
But does that have any significance, though? Do I know what the Scorpion identity is, or the Scorpion network?
I believe as much as you like hung around the BSAA, at least because I think that when did he leave the BSAA?
It was right at the end of the campaign after the Manifold Tower
Yeah,
assault.
so just hanging around BSAA, Scorpion would have popped up just like
The name.
within the internal BSAA, like at least at Camp Clancy,
Right.
Scorpion is just like just a buddy. You know that Scorpion is both a entity, a person, and a organization.
Hmm. Scorpion.
That's us.
Fascinating. What brings you here?
Work. What brings you here?
Favor.
Favor. Kind of favor brings a man like you out of retirement?
You know, what kind of work brings someone to a hole like this?
Well, must have been a really close friend. Where are you headed? Let me walk with you. It's not every day you get to meet a living legend.
Do I trust this guy?
Make an insight check. The answer is no, but make an insight check.
Of course. 7.
Seven.
Was worth a shot.
So, worth a shot.
He's not a people
Just-
person for sure.
Yeah. Immediately, you get like shady vibes off this guy, and you also like notice that like Kelsey is surprisingly quiet, just kind of like hiding behind you, putting you between
Yeah.
her.
I'm
and
going
him.
to be bodyguard duty, making sure that I'm imposed between them. But I'm going to now. My hands are going to tighten up again, and he's going to. Now that we've had these introductions, he's going to take the slinged rifle and just keep it at the ready as we start to move out again, and just say, "Well, if you know who you're dealing with, then know that I don't expect any funny business from you either. You take one step out of line, you'll meet the beast."
No funny business for me. No funny business for me. Just here purely on work.
Does your work involve me?
Nope. Just a fan.
So Aidan will say nothing, and yeah, he says we're heading towards a military evac. Kelsey, we keep heading in this direction.
Yeah.
All right, stay close.
Oh, I know where it is.
Well, he was talking to Kelsey, but
Oh. He just turns around and walks off.
you lead the way.
All right. We don't usually get these kind of jobs. And he just starts talking as he starts walking.
What
He's
do I
like, we
call
don't
you,
usually
sir?"
get these kind of jobs. We usually get, we're usually a little higher up on the order of events. Try to get to things before these outbreaks happen. But, you know, I guess our higher up is here on a favor as well.
Sounds like there's some well-connected people here then.
Yeah, well, you hang around this group a lot, and he kind of like motions like generally into the sky. You can imagine he's pointing in the direction of the floating rock. He's like, you find that everybody here is well connected. It's part of the job.
I'll ask you then, what do I call you?
You can call me Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah, there's a few of us around here. Most of us are in the outskirts, just making sure no infected leave Brunton, but just clean up. I'm on the inside because we have no visibility, just doing recon and surveillance, just keeping everybody updated on the happening inside the fog. It's kind of boring if you ask me. But job's a job, gotta do it.
Infected haven't proven too troublesome then, if this is boring.
Yeah, they're a little bit spontaneous, but nothing we haven't been trained to deal with.
I reckon the outbreak in this area is pretty under control then, and we can just walk around like this and talk.
Between BSAA and Scorpion Network here, you guys are pretty safe.
What then is the Scorpion crew targeting here?
We are glorified seconds. The main man himself is here on a person, like I said, he's here on a favor as well.
And what about you? Don't you have an objective?
Yep, well, I'm here as the eyes and ears inside the fog. I let everyone know what's going on. If I see anything heading out of Brunton, we got people who take care of it. Intercept, eliminate.
You said he had a mask of some sort, so I assume he's all respirated too.
Yeah, he's all respirated, and you can actually, the voice that he's speaking to you with is very clear. It's probably coming through a microphone through his respirator.
Oh, wow. Fancy.
It's fancy.
People are well funded. Meanwhile, I'm all here all just fugitive, man. Yeah.
Tattered. A dead soldier's rifle.
Still with blood.
He's got
on it.
Yep. He's got top of the line gear, but still in civvies, just with gear on top of it.
Right. Yeah, and I could size this dude up and see the way he moves and the way he handles himself. He's clearly quite experienced.
Clearly, actually, make an insight check.
Ooh, yes, I get to do another one. 17. That's much better.
That is much better. There is an air of training about this guy, but it's not military.
Not military. Okay.
It's like more police.
Yeah. Local level.
Just the way he moves.
Yeah.
Clearly trained, and he's clearly highly skilled. But the way that the procedures that he falls back on whenever he's moving around and clearing corners and everything like that, it's less military, a little bit more police.
Definitely. Recognize that. Urban tactics.
Police stance.
Yeah, local law persona.
Yeah. So you guys head out, and the evac isn't actually that far away. At least in terms of like walking distance, maybe like a half an hour's walk. You eventually get there, and you come across a high school. As you walk forward, you can see like the big, what do you call that? Like the front of the high school with the big doors leading in. The town's high school, you actually walk past that. He takes you past that towards the fences going along the outside, and he just opens this chain link fence and walks in. You're heading into the field behind the high school. So this is where all the sports activities would be taking place. You can actually see in the fog there's no visible shapes, but there is a extremely bright light that is emanating from somewhere deep in the fog.
And it's nighttime, right? So everything's all dark otherwise. So we're just following the lights.
Everything's pretty dark otherwise. Yeah. The street lights, any errant stuff that's left on, all these little things leaving pinpricks of light throughout the city as you move past. Enough to keep everything well enough lit that you can walk past. It seems the infrastructure is stable enough that you can still navigate, but there's no there's no way you'd be able to still, again, drive anything on these roads or any of these streets. Completely destroyed. But infrastructure for electricity, still intact. Grid hasn't gone down yet.
Good.
And you can hear Kelsey give out like a excited like exclamation, kind of like either excited that she's back or just that she can get away from this guy, and just starts bolting it down the field and starts heading towards the light. And Jamie's casually walking down and says, "Here we have it, evac 3.
Hey, careful!" He yells ahead to her and he picks up his pace to kind of keep pace with her and stay close to her, just to keep her guarded. Make sure anything that would be within her visibility is within his visibility too.
Right. He goes, "That's fine. There's an officer down there, BSAA."
Is that Jamie saying that? Or,
yeah.
Okay. Still.
Yeah, she's fine.
Kind of side eyes him. Still takes long strides. He doesn't like letting the civvy out of his sight.
You catch up with her, and he's just casually strolling. He'll eventually catch up with you again. It's in the dead center of what you can now see as you approach the football field. You pass by some bleachers, and you can see these giant stadium lights are what's causing that massive glow, shining down on the middle of this football field. The stadium lights are actually allowing you to see a little bit further than you would normally be able to in this fog. So
pretty powerful.
You have visibility almost the entirety of the football field.
Sweet. And do we see, so there are BSAA and other personnel here?
No, there is one.
One officer.
One officer.
What about any other civvies? Does it look like there's a gathering of civvies here waiting for extraction?
Small, about 5 adults.
Okay. Aiden's going to catch up, see the officer. Again, still just following procedure, just calling out. Friendlies approaching.
BSAA, Foxtrot 3. Who's approaching?
Concerned citizens. As he
all
approaches
right,
with his gear.
It's like, all right, concerned citizens, here's, oh my gosh. My man. Where'd you get that?
Long story. I'm trying to get these civilians out of here just as much as you are.
All right. Kelsey, get your ass over here. And he says as like Kelsey's like torn between keeping up with, like, not going past you, but also wanting to get to the group. So he's just like, Kelsey, get your ass over here. And she just bolts it and runs past. We got evac arriving at 5. Who are you again?
My name is Aidan.
Aidan. No shit.
Does that name mean something to you?
Question. How much time did Aidan spend at the firing range at BSAA headquarters?
Probably not a lot. If at least he would like to try and keep to himself. So he would if he did go there, he would probably find odd hours to do it.
Yeah.
So just to make himself scarce, but at the same time he would want to keep his skills sharp because again, he's just very disciplined. So he would go there probably regularly, but just try to do it when it's not so crowded, not during regular training hours.
So you would recognize this man, actually. This is the range officer at the BSA headquarters, Camp Clancy. This is John Smith. Pretty average looking man. Pretty average looking stature. He's a little bit, he's not as fit as some of the younger folks, but he's been called into duty. All hands on deck, it looks like, so.
John, didn't recognize you behind the...
I'm not usually this geared up. It's pretty freaking heavy.
I imagine. When was the last time you've been in this deployment uniform?
Too long, my friend, too long.
Yeah, I hear you there.
And then as you're conversing, he goes, hey, announce yourself, as Jamie's now approaching.
Concerned citizen number 2.
Where the hell are all these concerned citizens coming from?
It seems there's a lot of interested parties in Brunton. More than I was expecting.
Is there?
Yeah.
If we got you here. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be retired. We all say goodbye to you.
Yeah. Well, I'm here on a favor.
Favor, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess happy to have you here, whatever brings you here, because it's not looking good. And he kind of like takes you by the arm and takes you to the side, kind of away from other civilians.
How's the outlook?
So yeah, also John is wearing a respirator, but this is a smaller kind of
Yeah, I
half-face
assumed.
respirator.
That's why I was kind of motioning to, I'm assuming
Yeah,
he went in
it's fair.
all properly geared up.
Yeah, the SAA was ready, of course, but the
No, so you got a theater of mind. You know, I imagine we're all muffled through all these.
all muffled. Where's Dad? Yeah, he's like, it's not looking good. We're pretty strapped for people. Foxtrot 3, the rest of my unit, something happened to them. They all went crazy. Fog is doing something to the head.
Yeah.
We've heard reports of it, but nothing this bad. I'm the last of my unit here. I'm the only one holding the fort down for this last landing zone. Foxtrot's 2 and 1. They're taking 2 other landing zones over in the city, but thankfully it's quiet.
You'd probably be joining Foxtrot 3 in the loony bin if you didn't get that PPE on you.
Yeah, well, we thought we were safe just outside the boundary. This is not good. Whatever's going on up there, and again, he motions up top towards the rock, the floating island. Whatever's going on out there, it's intense.
Yeah,
We get shockwaves down here every now and then.
no doubt. We're dealing with a pretty dangerous man. The worst kind.
You don't say.
Kind you think you can
At this point-
trust.
At this point, Jamie strolls up. What are we talking about?
And as he was kind of approaching to the distance, he would just nod his head without facing Jamie over in Jamie's direction as he kind of side glances, sees him approaching, just says, "Be careful with that one. Keep your eye on him." As he, before he gets within earshot.
All right, what are we talking about?
John here was just giving me the overview. Seems things are looking scarce.
Oh yeah, I could have told you that. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. And John says, yeah, you say that again. We've had to scavenge from the gun store that's just a couple blocks away. It's getting rough.
When's the final call on these evacs?
He looks at his watch. A couple minutes.
And that'll be it for the whole town. Anyone not here by then will just be left behind.
From the sound of it, looks like everyone's already here. And he's like staring you down and it just says, so why are you here?
Like I said, favor.
Would that be a persuasion or a deception check from Aidan?
I think he's being genuine. If he were to make a deception check, it would be against himself, but to them, he's being persuasive.
I want you to make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Okay. I'll just roll this twice. I have that queued up. That'll be a 6.
6. Wow. Okay. So both Jamie and John look at you. And they kind of know the type, right? They're both men of arms, and they're looking at you, and John is the first one to go. Favor is a pretty big leap to come into a hell zone like this.
I owed this man a lot.
Your life?
Certainly.
That much, huh?
Yeah. It's closing the books.
He examines you a little further and says, you know, I've always wondered, you look a little bit native. Do you have any native blood in you? You have any tribal blood in you?
I'm Mexican on my mother's side. Don't know what natives she would have descended from, but didn't really know her long enough to learn that kind of family history.
That'll do it. Have you ever heard of that Native American story about the two wolves?
And Aidan, technically, even though he's well trained, isn't too well educated. So he'll just kind of cock his head and be like, I don't believe I have.
Well, it goes like this. Grandfather is sitting with his grandson, and he says, within every man exists two wolves, one evil and one good. The son looks up at the grandfather and says, well, which wolf wins? Grandfather says, the wolf that you feed. Have you heard that?
No. But
Good, because it's bullshit. The white man said that. No native said that. There will always be good and evil in the world. It's not about which wolf you feed. It's about balance. It's about striking a balance between the two wolves. There will never be just one. There will always be two. Your soul knows what's good for it. Don't try to force it to do anything it doesn't want to do. He looks you like directly in the eyes, and you start to hear the chopper, the sound of the chopper blades approaching. Ride's here. Let's go.
Aidan lets that sink in for a moment. He wants to say something and his mind's going all sorts of direction, but he's not a man of many words.
Jamie is looking at what transpired and just goes, the fuck was that?
Aidan doesn't say anything and starts marching towards the chopper.
As you approach, the chopper blades start to get louder and louder. However, you can also see the mist around this football field start to twist and turmoil, kind of as if it was in a vortex. But the chopper isn't here yet.
Aidan clutches his rifle and prepares for anything, but he's not sure what to
Slowly,
expect.
You can see a figure step out of the mist, and then another, and then another, and again, more figures stepping out of the mist, one after another, until it appears you're absolutely surrounded on all sides by these floating ethereal figures. John looks at both of you, raises his rifle, and says, shit, looks like we've been made. All right, get ready for combat. Roll initiative.
All right. Oh boy, here we go. Ooh, 16.
Ooh,
Not bad.
very high.
Hold on, I feel this is more dramatic.
Oh. I'm not going to use that roll. Should have used that roll. You and all of your allies will be going first, and then the masses will go after you.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
I will allow you to control where they make their attacks.
Okay, gotcha.
In terms of stat block, just so you're aware, you have a soldier and an operative stat block at your disposal.
Okay. Take it that's John and Jamie respectively.
Yep.
So we're just surrounded by what we're looking at, ghosts.
Yep.
And get out of here, ghosts.
Yeah, here goes. So, tons of them. This is the same ghost that you saw, the same kind of ghost that you saw in the middle of the street, just floating.
Yeah, and this is just open field, right? Around us, nothing, no cover, no nothing, just flat football field.
Yep.
All right.
And they're passing all the cover that you have, which is the bleachers.
Right. So this is wide open, no sense in, I'm gonna position myself between them and as many of them at least as I can, and some of the civilians. And how many can I get a head count of how many I'm looking at here?
Make a perception check.
I think situational awareness would apply, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, do it with disadvantage, so it would be a straight roll.
Okay.
Because as you start to look around,
visibility,
because as you start to look around, the stadium lights begin to flicker.
Oh no. Still 24.
24, very high. You can get a pretty accurate count of. Hold on, which one am I using here? This one. 15.
15? That's the ghosts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this is just, well, this might be more so keeping them at bay than anything. Just long enough for this bird to get off the ground. So yeah, he's going to position himself in between the civvies and as large a group of these ghosts, as large a cluster as he can. He's going to take aim with his rifle. I assume they're in effective range.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's just going to unload.
So what, rifle's like 120 feet, I think?
It's 100 feet for its effective range.
100 feet for its effective range. Let's see, 100. Yeah, you'd be able to definitely get some. Not some on. No, yeah, because you're still standing in the middle of the football field, so you'd be able to get a good everywhere around you guys.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to shoot across it, but you're in the middle,
right.
so it's fine.
Yeah, so he's just going to start unloading into bonus action Crimson Rush. Eyes glow red, veins crawl up his face, grits his teeth. And he's going to open fire on the nearest one and focus fire on one of them.
All right.
Headshot. And I assume this is a standard M16, no expanded magazine or anything.
Nope.
Let's see how this headshot does. Because this thing does
completely
not have any bonuses on it, so this is going to be sad. 11.
That does not hit.
Fires again. 22, that's better.
22 absolutely hits.
Yeah, full fire rate on both of these.
And you do not have to roll damage. These are, after you hit that first one, it goes down immediately. These are minions.
Gotcha. So just breaks his sight lines and just through the head. Last 4 rounds.
These are the
and realizing
these are the ones
how
that
easy they go down.
Yeah.
Takes that into account.
You think about the one that you encountered in the beginning on the road in the beginning of Brunton, and how hard that was to take down. You're expecting a fight like that, but then you also think back to the ones that you encountered in the road, the one that Jamie gunned down in a single round.
Gotcha. He's going to hold his action surges close to the chest then, but he's gotten some good intel here. He's going to...
Yep, so you hit one.
Yeah, just stay ready, stay angry, and stay just amped up with his Crimson Rush, but stay close to these civilians, keeping in mind what this is all for. So he's going to pass this on to the next.
Yep. I like how angry is an actual...
Stay angry, my friends. And he's going to kind of just hand motion, just direct fire towards this same batch that he's focusing on.
And so right now, you're just firing into the mist, hitting or whatever you can hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're just gonna make attacks, and they're just gonna hit or not hit. It's a +4 and a +5. For the sake of keeping it easy for me, I'm gonna give them both a +5.
All right, sounds good.
Hit and hit. That is another 2 down. Pop, 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 pop. Gunshots start going off, and the civilians immediately start freaking out again. They all huddle close together and start taking cover, and he says, John just yells out, "Stay close. Chopper's almost here." Again, the stadium lights flashing, and they start going dim and dim and dim. The ghouls, the ghosts that are at the edge of your vision start fading in and out of obscurity.
Okay.
They're going to be a little bit harder to hit. They just move forward at this point. You can make another round of attacks.
Even with his dark vision, is he, can I still, are they still getting harder to hit?
This is the obscurity of the fog that is
right, because that's the only thing
light
that's piercing the fog. The fog.
Yes, because the light is allowing you to see through the fog, and it's coming in and out.
Okay.
Top of round 2, the lights completely fade.
Here we go. Come on. He's going to. So I don't have visibility on anything right now.
On anything. John takes a flare out of his, and it's completely dark. There is no light around you.
Right.
For a split second, total darkness. Except for, well, you have dark vision, so you can see, but you know that you are now shrouded in.
Right. I could only see out to 30 feet anyway.
Yeah. You hear John rifling around his vest, and he pulls out a flare, lights it, throws it to the ground, and you again, now you have, everybody now has visibility up to 30.
Right.
These ghouls, these ghosts, slowly start entering the fog. They are now within 30 feet of you.
All right. Yeah, he's going to, realizing what he's up against now, he's going to, realizing also that he's limited on his M16 ammo too, because he didn't get any extra magazines off of that body. He's already expended a fair bit. He's going to sling it back around his shoulder, drop to a knee, draw his sidearm, and start popping shots, since he's got more ammo with that. So he's going to be 1 shot downrange with the SIG, no headshot. It's 14.
14 hits.
And against a
Another
different
one
target,
down.
26. Yeah, so
26
pop
and
2 of them. Just,
you clear all the ghosts on one side of the field.
all right.
You turn behind you, and there are more coming in.
So we've taken out, like, how many of them so far? There can't be too many
You've
left.
taken out 5.
Right. Maybe about 10 left. Yeah, he's going to...
You saw the other 2,
Yeah.
2 that you can direct.
Yeah, I'll direct their fire in the against the other line that's coming from a different direction then. Since
Actually,
we cleared that
if you want to roll for them,
yeah, for
they're
sure.
only basically going to use
+5?
their main attacks. It's a +5, and
One
again,
attack each.
If they hit, yeah, 1 attack each, and if they hit,
That's
it's
a
dead.
7
That is a miss.
A 10. Oh no.
2 misses. So you take care of an entire wall of ghosts, turn around, and you can see them just like firing off into the mist, and these ghosts are fading in and out of corporealness.
They're just like blind firing practically. I imagine the muzzle flashes are lighting this place up though.
It is getting very confusing as each muzzle flash immediately perfectly lights up for 1 split second everything, and then the next second another muzzle flash, and they're in a different position, and you can't tell whether they're multiplying in number or if they're just moving extraordinarily fast. Again, and it looks like they're actually like popping in and out of corporealness.
How are the
Shots that
civvies
would
looking?
hit frightened.
Are they still making their way onto the chopper?
The chopper is still flying up overhead, so
Okay,
it hasn't
gotcha.
arrived yet.
Gotcha.
But it is a lot closer now. You can actually feel the buffering of the blades getting closer.
Yeah. He's still going to hold off here, and he's going to... Yeah, that's it for his turn.
Mm-hmm. Top of the next round, Chopper flies overhead. They can't land. However, you can see the SAA officers in the back throwing a ladder down to the civvies below, and John immediately stows his weapon and starts directing civvies up. So now John is on civilian duty. You and Jamie are all that's left attacking.
Gotcha. So they get to go again before we do, right?
Yes. And at that point, they get close enough to start making attacks. Since you are the ones that are shooting at them, they're going to direct all of their attacks against you and Jamie. Ba-ba-ba. So I'm using new minion rules. I'm using the MCDM improved minion rules, and I kind of want to see how this goes. So they're going to group attack. They gang up around you, completely surround you on all sides, and all start slashing at you with their blades. They're going to make an illusory blade attack, an illusory blade group attack against you, which is 5 of them all making the same attack.
Ooh.
A 27 to hit.
That certainly hits. That's 10
certainly
over.
Hits. They do 30 points of slashing damage all told.
Ugh. Any necrotic?
This is all slashing.
All slashing. Okay. That's good because I don't have immunity to their necrotic, and the slashing I have resistance to. Wait, no. I have resistance to all damage while I'm Crimson Rushed. Because, yeah, it's better than Adrenaline Rush. So, yeah, he would have resistance to all necrotic.
Doesn't matter either way.
But either way, yeah, something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
You said
these
30?
are basic ghosts. 30 points of slashing damage.
So that's reduced to 15.
And they're gonna and the other 5 are going to make an attack against Jamie.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. All right, let's see how this happens. They double the damage, so they deal 60 points of slashing damage against him, and he immediately goes down as he is swarmed and just cut down by this this swath of illusory blades.
and Aidan, as they come on him, like he knows he could take it, and he's just aggroing them, just trying to keep as much attention off the civvies as possible. So he's just crying like, "Come on!" And but he sees Jamie go down, and is immediately concerned.
Mm-hmm. That is their turn. It is back up to the top of round 4. Another city
they're around round
goes
3.
up. That was round
I've only
3?
gotten 2 turns.
Hold on, let's see. You go, they go. Right, so that was their 3rd round. Mm-hmm. So now it's your.
Okay.
Now it's the top of round 3.
So.
No, that was their 2nd round. Yeah, because they approached, got to you.
Yeah.
I think I wrote down a thing I didn't need to. That will be for next round.
He'll Aidan will he's going to look over at Jamie. He doesn't entirely trust this guy, but he also doesn't want anybody left behind. Especially seeing as he kind of helped more than he hurt. So he's definitely realizing the practicality of needing more guns on hand as well now. Mm-hmm. So he is going to start running over to Jamie, take any opportunity attacks as necessary.
Yep. The 5 will take opportunity attacks that were on you.
Ooh,
22 and 10? Another 30 points. Yep. So it's the more minions that take part in the attack, the more chances they have to hit.
All right.
And has another 30 points of slashing.
Reduced to 15. And yeah, he's going to, as he's on his way to Jamie and between these two groups, he's going to pop a couple of shots at two of the ghosts that are on him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be... Roll the dice, please.
Give it. Roll 20, please.
Roll 20, please. Please. 17 and...
Hits.
Oh, it's going to do it again.
Pop, pop. One goes down.
22.
Pop, pop. Another one goes down. And that is 2 less on around Jamie's body.
How many are around him now?
3.
Okay, yeah. So Aiden's gonna get over there and kind of slide into kneeling towards him. Pulls out of his back pocket the first aid spray, and he's going to action surge spray him with that.
All
And
right.
that's gonna be it.
I think minimum brings him to health, to full health.
All right.
You stick it in his respirator.
Yeah, just.
On your feet, this fight ain't done yet.
Oh, jeez, they're fast.
And yeah, that's his turn. But can Jamie act on our shared initiative since he just got up?
Yeah. Yeah, you would have gotten him up on your turn, then it's his turn.
Okay, yeah. Can he try and hit one of the ones around him?
Absolutely. He also has a knife if you want to use that as well.
Oh, yeah. Would that be the same bonus?
Yes.
But I guess it's finesse. So it
All
should
of their weapons are the same bonus.
be. 14.
That hits.
Yeah, he's just going to knife one of them.
Yeah, he quickly pulls a cramet out of his pants belt holster and slices at one of them, cutting it up as he stands.
All right. That's it.
Taking it down to 2 around you now.
That's it.
All right, their turn.
Assuming
Hey,
John can't
the
give
two
us
that
some
are-
cover and fire. If he's still indisposed.
He is still indisposed. He is helping civilians up onto this madly swinging rope ladder that they've thrown down. So the 5 that were previously on you that you ran past, 3 of them will join up with the 2. So there's, again, 5 around you and Jamie. And then the other 2 will head towards John.
Oh.
And as you look at the surrounding edges of the fog, another 2 ghosts apparate.
Ugh.
They're going to start making attacks.
All right.
They're going to split the 5 against you and Jamie. They're going to split 3 and 2. 3 is going to try to attack you. They're going to try to attack you.
$16 doesn't hit.
16 doesn't hit, so they split their focus, and you are easily able to get out of the way of their blades. The 2 on Jamie will also miss, I believe.
Sweet.
And they're just swinging, and you've got him up, and now he's got a refreshed vigor. He's like, I'm not doing that again. And they are up. The 2 that went towards John are going to swipe at him. Oh!
Oh.
Oh! Oh! Only 2 attacked him, though, so he only takes 20 points of damage.
Okay. Is he still all right?
No, hold on. That's 6, not 5. That's 12. He takes 24 points of damage. Ooh, that hurt him bad, but he is still up. he takes the hit like a champ and like kicks them off as he like straight grabs one of. Well, he grabs Kelsey and just like throws her up the ladder.
Yikes. Okay, I don't like that. Is it back to us?
It is back to you. Now it is the top of round 4.
Okay. Yeah, Aidan is freshly invigorated, seeing the innocent civvies in danger, and so his crimson eyes just flare red, just like, come on! And he's going to, first off, he's going to pick off the 2 that are over by John, and he's going to take aim in that direction. Fire a couple of shots with his SIG. Yeah, it's a 26 and a 18.
All right, you pick them both off with ease. John sends you a brief look of thanks as he's continually helping up civilians.
And
They're almost all up at this point.
Yeah, he's also going to unsheath the combat knife from his belt. And I think bonus action he can offhand attack since it's also a light weapon. So he's going to offhand attack one of the nearby ones that are surrounding him. And that's a 12,
Awesome.
20.
Yep.
And he just like tries to pin its mouth shut with his blade.
And it explodes into mist.
Okay. And actually, so me and Jamie are like back to back right now.
Yeah, at this point you're back to back, yeah.
How many are surrounding us?
4. After that, 4.
Okay, yeah. In that case, he is going to, yeah, we're in close quarters here. He's going to action surge, knife a couple of more. That'll be his last action surge. 28 and 25. So yeah, no problem.
20 and 25, absolutely no problem. That's 2 down. That leaves 2 left surrounding you.
Yeah, just brutally, violence of action swinging around him. And yeah, Jamie also gonna
Clearing.
knife around the nearby one. So that'll be a +5 for him.
It's a blade dance.
Ugh, 10. Why do you suck so much tonight, Jamie?
Jamie's not doing well. I think he has a secret agenda that I didn't know about. All right, that is both of you.
Mm-hmm.
And
At least there's only a few around us now.
Yes. However, the 2 that had spawned at the edge are going to approach, bring it back up to 4 around you. They're going to split again once more, 2 on 2.
Oh,
that was
me?
against you. That's you. Thankfully, only 2 attacked you, so that's 24 points of slashing damage.
Reduced to 12.
Against Jamie. That hits, and he takes 12 points.
Can he uncanny dodge?
He cannot. But he can bonus action hide. And that is the end of their turn. And top of round 5. You see out of the periphery of the shadows, or the mist, another 4 spawn.
This isn't looking good. All right, so still viciously chopping away then. But they're still at the edge, right? So they're far from us.
Yes, they had just reached that point at the end of their turn last round.
All right. Yeah, he's going to knife at 2 that are immediately nearby.
Yep.
That's a 27.
Perfect.
And 20.
Bringing it back down to 2.
And then, yeah, he's going to bonus action, just fire with disadvantage his handgun as an offhand attack.
Sure.
To try and hit another one that's nearby.
doing as much as you can feasibly physically do with the situation you're in.
That's 14.
Ooh, that hits.
Sweet. Yeah, just
Another one down.
Just taking as
There's one left.
as he can.
It clips it in the face, but it still hits it, and it's able to dissipate that one into mist.
Yeah, Jamie can knife the last one that's nearby us. There's only one more, right?
Yep.
11.
There's still only one left. I don't think Jamie has hit a single thing.
Dang you, Jamie.
I'm not used to this kind of close quarters fighting. I'm more of a ranged fighter.
Yeah, it's all she
Time
wrote
cover
for us.
concealment. I don't have any of that.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
the
all
end
we
of your
got. That's all we got.
All right. The 4 at the edge of the periphery will move in and join the 1, bringing it back up to 5.
Ugh.
Actually, 1 will move off towards John. So there's going to be 4 around you. And 1 at
no.
John. The one at John's going to make an attack.
Go.
And hits for 6 points of damage. Just enough to bring John down. He goes down at the base of the helicopter. You see the 4 around you are going to continue making attacks, 2 on each of you. That was you. This is Jamie.
21 definitely hits me.
Both hit. You both take 12 points of damage.
May reduce to 6.
Jamie is still good, but he's going to start feeling some pain.
All right. How far is John from me?
Within 30 feet.
Okay.
Let's say within maybe 10 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, he is going to it's my turn now, right?
It is now your turn, top of the round of 5. Actually, real quick. Another 2 spawn on the outskirts.
Oh, geez.
Then, the last civilian climbs their way to the rope.
Yeah, we need to get out of Dodge. So Aidan's going to... Yeah, he's going to pop a shot at the one that's standing over John.
Mm-hmm.
No disadvantage on that since it's a ways. Yeah, it's 27, pops it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to, with his second attack, knife one that's immediately around him.
Yep.
23 also takes that one out.
Brings that down. Brings that down to 3 surrounding you and Jamie.
And he's... can I bonus action you to do an offhand attack even though I use both those weapons on my attack? I think I should still be able
How does
to.
that work? How would that work?
I don't know. Because technically I use both weapons, but I think it still works. Still an offhand
Well,
attack.
because you can make it so that you use 2 attacks and then made that offhand attack with the other weapon.
But one of them had to be ranged and one of them had to be melee there. Unless I took disadvantage on the second one.
Let's say you hit it, because your bonus is still high, so
Okay,
you can make that other attack.
sweet. So I can make one more knife attack as a bonus action.
Yeah.
19, so take another one out.
Yeah.
So there's only
Because you would
2.
have to roll really bad to not hit these guys. There's 2 left around you too.
All right. Yeah, then he's going to run and take their opportunity attacks. And get as close to John as he can.
17.
Matches, yeah, that hits.
Another 12 points of damage.
Reduced to 6. And yeah, he's going to get over to John and just kneel by him in preparing to either lift him or stabilize him or do something with him. That's all for Aidan, but that since they're focusing on swinging at Aidan as he's getting away, would Jamie then be able to also move with us and start making his way there and then like pop them from a distance because they can't make any more opportunity attacks?
Yeah, he would be able to follow you.
Right.
He's actually going to go ahead and also at this point, now that all the civilians have, what do you call that? Gotten up on the ladder. He's now going to start bonus action disengaging and start running around and keeping distance and basically picking off more infected one by one while keeping himself out of harm's way. So they're now all coming towards you, but he can still pick off stuff. He had been acting as aggro while the civilians were boarding, but now he's doing his thing.
Okay, so can he still make one more attack then?
Yes, he can.
All right, I'm on the nearby ones. 21, so he picks one off. Finally.
Yep, finally. He's like,
Now
okay.
he's out of distance.
Civilians are safe. Picks off another one.
All right. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
All out of action surges.
You got to John this round, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything.
You couldn't do anything with him yet. Yeah. So it is their turn again. There's only 3, I think, that can make their way towards you. They're going to make their attacks.
Oh, they can make it.
And you're the only one that is
attack.
Huh?
They can make it and attack.
Yeah, so the 3 that were left within the 30 feet of that bubble around you. They can all make it to you because now you're
there's
the
only 2
only
left.
target. There was... By my count, there was one more. Oh, no, the one that Jamie just took out. I expected it, but did not take out one.
Oh. All right, 2.
I believe. Yeah, so the 2. It still rolled a natural 20, even if I change the modifier.
Yeah. So
But that's 24 points of piercing damage, or slashing damage.
all to me.
All towards you.
All right. That's 12 after reduction.
Yep.
Still in the triple digits.
End of your turn, or end of the round, top of round 6. You can hear one of the officers at the top saying, "Civilians are boarded, get up, get out of here." And another ghost comes through the mist.
Okay. So yeah, Aidan knows, just looking at his wounds, he probably still has some time, right? He doesn't look to be in critical condition, so he's going to prioritize getting him to safety and then trying to apply first aid. So he's just going to lean over and try and use his action if you have to, fireman's carry, sling him over his shoulders, and then start trying to climb this ladder.
So you're going to climb the ladder?
Yeah. With him,
All
with
right.
John on my shoulders. If I'm able to.
That's going to be pretty difficult because, well, technically, even so, you have to have an open a hand to carry somebody, and you need 2 hands to climb.
I can climb with one hand. Just feet.
You hear John, like you sling him over your shoulder, and you start to like try to climb up, like, and get on. And you hear John say, because he's, I think, you're not technically
you're
unconscious.
Yeah,
in the
you're
system,
cognizant in the
downed.
system. Yeah.
Yeah, you're down. So he can still speak. So he's saying, "I got it." Just wraps his arm around the rung and just says, "I can get out of here." And he looks at you again and says, "Tell me, Aidan, why are you really here?"
I told you I'm here on a favor.
Time slows for a moment. More BOWs enter through the fog. You keep saying that. Keep saying you're here on a favor. You keep saying that you're here to help people. But is that true?
And even with time slowing, Aiden's still kind of amped up. Just adrenaline and Crimson Rush going. And he just has a hard time seeing straight. At least not through like a shaky and just volatile, emotionally charged lens. But in a moment, he has to like be forced to reflect in this state. And just
You hear a voice just behind you. A familiar one. Aidan Samson. You turn. Time has now seemed to freeze entirely. The man standing before you steps out of the mist. He's wearing a lawn trench coat. Black. Sunglasses. Wait, no, he wouldn't. At the time you knew him, he wouldn't have had that look. So he would have come out with
a suit or
a vest.
something, or
he still would have been wearing a trench coat, or he still would have been wearing glasses. I think.
Yeah. Always sunglasses, but probably either a suit or a lab coat or something.
Yeah, well, because you would. This is Wesker coming out as your handler.
Okay.
And this is, I think, like, what do you call that? Tactical stars, Wesker.
Yeah, probably.
He's coming out and looks at you and says, Aidan Samson, you were made for one purpose and one purpose only.
And what do you say my purpose is?
To serve Umbrella.
My loyalty does not belong to Umbrella anymore. You've done nothing but hurt and cheat and steal and lie to me.
Necessary to break an animal like you. But we achieved results.
I may be an animal, but what were they? My family deserved a chance at life.
To your side, as you gesture, you see in your memory the image of Yuko and Archaea.
They deserved better. It should have been me.
Everything happened exactly according to plan.
Well, screw your plans. I'm not your weapon anymore. And I won't let it happen again.
But you are still a weapon, and he rushes forward you with alarming speed. Time snaps back to moving, and a infected is right in front of you, about to make an attack.
Aidan is just raw right now, so like he's like completely almost abandoned his weapon and just instinctively just attempts to just strike at it with his fist.
I'll let you make an attack.
Ooh, this will be an unarmed strike. He is still proficient because he's boxing.
Yeah.
Partly. Military and striker fighting style. So yeah, that's 29.
This creature approaches you, one of the few around you still, and you bat it, and it explodes into a mist, a fine mist. At this point, the officer down below, or up above, is yelling down below at you, saying, "Get on! We don't have much time. The civilians are up. There's too many coming in." And then you can actually hear Jamie just popping shots off, saying, "No can do, sir. My job's down here. I was told my orders were to eliminate hostiles. I see a field full of opportunities right here."
And Aidan looks over at John. He's secured himself on the rung.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has his arm just wrapped around it, and he's just hanging on the ladder.
Aidan just firmly claps his shoulder. He says, "You're a good man.
Get out of here and get your wounds treated and get these civilians home.
And he looks up and just motions to the officer up top to take off.
Mm-hmm. He looks at you and says, "You're insane!" And then gives the motion to the pilot. Pilot takes off.
So, am I surrounded by infected?
You stop for a moment. You hear the voice of Albert Wesker, your previous handler, in your head again. Just reverberating. More and more infected surrounding you. Coming out of literally thin air. Somewhere off in the field is Jamie doing his work. But right now, you are stuck in the middle of a field of opportunities. You load your weapon, and you get to work. With the last of the civilians boarded, the chopper gains altitude and flies above the fog and out of Brunton. The sight of Aidan and the agent fighting against innumerable hordes of specter creatures fades into the fog. Chopper flies out to a secure BSAA forward operating base, drops off the civilians, lifts off, and flies back towards Brunton. Foxtrot 2, this is Wingman on our way to landing zone 2. Do you copy? Copy, Wingman. This is LZ2, free and clear. Wait, what's that? Oh shit, LZ is not clear! LZ, not clear! Get your ass here immediately! There are so many of them! Ugh, crap, we're taking fire! Shots coming from the south. Wait, no, they're taking shots at the specter creatures. Foxtrot 3, is that you? Foxtrot 3, come in! No answer. Get these civvies out of here. Go! They start loading civvies into the helicopter. Unknown backup has come to take care of a lot of the horde that had come to stop them. Wingman takes these civvies back, loads them off at the BSAA forward operating base, flies back into Brunton. Foxtrot 1, this is Wingman on our way to LZ1. How do you copy? Copy, Wingman. Landing zone is not clear. Foxtrot 3 turned on us. We're pinned down. Who's that? Unknown combatant. Shots coming from the west. Holy shit, he just body slammed Dozer. Did you see that? Get us out of here. Go! Start loading up civilians. The last of Foxtrot 1 get up. All right, that's everyone. Get us out of here, Wingman. Foxtrot 1 to Director Clancy. You successfully evac with all civvies. Someone bailed us out with a supporting fire. I didn't get a good look at him, but it almost looked like Aidan. Fade to black. Several years later, the office of Mr. Fox. An agent carrying a manila folder strolls her way down across his floor to his desk. He looks at her. "Excuse me, but I'm in the middle of a meeting. Sorry to bother you, but you specifically requested if this information crossed my desk that I bring it to you immediately. This came from one of the agents on the Scorpion case." She slides across a folder. He opens it, pauses, looks back up at her. "You said this was the Scorpion case." Yes, sir, I did." She looks uncomfortable, as if she said something wrong. She doesn't know. Interesting. The camera glides up over the folder. Inside is a single image. A photograph zoomed in on the face of a man. One Aidan Samson. And that's where we're going to end.
And that's the end of the campaign.
That is the official end of all of Resident Roleplay. Again.
For the third time.
For the third time. Prologue.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, that was insane.
That was satisfying. Oh, I'm so glad I got to give Aidan one last hurrah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. This was so good to step back into this character again.
Yeah.
Definitely glad I got to say goodbye.
For sure. I tried to grab as much of Aidan's history and psychology and throw it all into the one shot.
Ooh, yeah, that was good. That was good. Interestingly, I guess, well, I don't know, maybe this might be, if we're going to do a post-discussion stuff at some point, like, I guess,
maybe
father issues never came up, but.
That's true. I guess there was some stuff that I was, there was some stuff that I was trying to keep it as well. More because of the time limit that I had, more of stuff that was tying in directly to the things we already knew. But I did get some really juicy stuff from your back story that you sent me.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're now the only
stuff that I wish I could use.
Yeah, you're now the only person in the world besides me who has seen Aidan's backstory, his full written out history. So yeah,
there's some information in there that is fascinating.
Yeah. Oof. But I can't believe it. This is it. Now officially no more Resident Roleplay now that we've done the surprise secret post-credits ending.
Yeah, the post-credit sequence. We were going to do this a little bit earlier, but we both were sick.
Yeah, you got sick one week, then I got sick the next week.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, I wasn't feeling too good. Then you got sick, and then...
Yeah, I got postponed a couple times. It was supposed to be pretty immediately after the finale, but alas.
But it's okay.
At least we got to it. Oh, yeah, and that gave you time to get it right, too. To really dial it in. But, oh, man. I'm going to miss this campaign. I'm going to miss Aidan.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to miss all these characters. But
boy, all grown up, killing BOW merchants.
Yeah.
What do you think of that ending?
I was definitely expecting to get to fight Foxtrot 3, but I was pretty satisfied with how the gameplay climax was for this as well. That actually forced me to make some decisions. Some real character decisions. So I'm happy about that. I definitely had some lines I was prepared to use with Aidan that I didn't get to, but because I was expecting to get to play out the scene of actually getting recruited into the Foxtrot group.
Right. Yeah.
But that was more so off screen.
I specifically was gonna go that direction first, but then I realized I think the details of that should be left to.
Yeah. Well, what's important is we know what his fate was.
Yeah, we know where he ended up.
He knows where he belongs. Just can't put his guns down, no matter how hard he tries. Well, it's worth noting, he does, even as a player character, what he's supposed to do. Still ended the campaign with more than 100 hit points in even after that climactic battle. So
yeah, I was expecting
strong guy.
I wasn't aware of how the minions was going to
affect the balance.
Balance out. So I gave you a first aid spray, hoping you would have to, thinking you might have to use it. Was not expecting Jamie to get crit on the first hit and go down immediately.
That's rough.
I bet. Hey, you know what?
It worked.
Crimson Rush is overpowered.
Yeah, tank. Aidan's got preventative healing.
You took so much damage.
So much. Yeah.
Much.
Still didn't crest into the double digits.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so much fun though. That was so much fun. We'll definitely have to discuss things more some other time. I hope maybe we'll find a formal time with the crew too, but who knows? Who knows? Time's been scarce lately, but time
has been scarce.
I'm just so satisfied I got to give Aidan an ending.
Yeah.
Another ending. Proper ending.
A real ending.
Real ending.
Yeah. Well, thanks for everybody who stopped by, stuck with us through to the end of the campaign again, and also to the end of the stream.
Yeah. Thank you all very much for watching and throughout in this entire 5-year history of this campaign. And yeah, I guess we'll see what we have in store next as far as role playing. But this has been a wild ride, that's for sure.
I love getting back into the GM seat. I might do it more often.
Probably should. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all for coming by. Was so much fun.
Till next time.
No. Hold on. What's the intro? How do I exit this
P squared. Have a good night.
Peace. Squared. Good night, sweet dreams, all the good things.
Have a good night. God bless.